Alright, so our next destination is over at the Gobiyan Ship, so let's head on over. I always found this first part of this level rather annoying, just because there's so much walking. You have to walk all the way to the right, back to the left, and then to the right again. And I always found myself dying a lot at this level, especially my first few times through the game, and making this walk every single time could get rather tedious. Anywho, there is a new enemy here in the form of a Zola, or a River Zora, and it shoots rocks at you. You can get rid of it by tossing a bomb or just shooting it with a sword beam. Then jump down to the lower alligator, then over to the other alligator and into the ship. That last jump could be rather difficult since the alligators aren't always in sync with one another, and it usually just takes some patience. Inside the ship you'll find some Stalfos, as well as both different variants of the Guinea. Just defeat them and progress to the right, and you'll find that little door or window. And at first I didn't even know you can go through this area, but you can, and it takes you to the top part of the ship. Basically where all these like rafter-like things are, where the ropes that are holding up the sail. So you can use these ropes to scale this area, or you can use your own ropes, whichever you choose. I mean, why would you want to use your own ropes if these ones are provided for you? But over here you really do want to use one to get to the very top here. And of course, what do we have? An Arpagos Feather. So remember a while back there was a woman in the Hanyu Forest who wanted an Arpagos Feather, and now we finally got it. Also at the very top here is a key that I just got, and we will be using that momentarily. For now we want to just drop down to the bottom where we entered this upper portion of the ship, but be careful, you don't want to just fall off the side, otherwise you'll just fall to your death. You have to slowly but surely make your way down and then go through this area once again to get back to the main part of the ship. Continue progressing to the right and watch out for all the Guinea and the Stalfos that just spawn randomly, as you don't want them to get too close to you, otherwise they could take a decent amount of damage. And at the far right there's a door, and we got the small key that will open this door, so use the key and head on through. Inside you'll find basically the major item found in the Gobiyan Ship, and that is the reflecting shield. And if you played Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, the reflecting shield works just like the reflect spell from Zelda 2. It's kind of useless. It really only has one major use, and that is to defeat a particular boss who we will fight shortly. Now look at that, the Shrine of Gamelon is now accessible. However, there really is no rush to go there now. In fact, we don't even have all the items needed to get through that area. And that will basically be the second to last area we go to. Instead, I'm going to head on over to the Hanyu Forest once again. I beat this level a lot earlier in the game, but I'm heading back here because if you recall, we just got the Arpagos Feather. And I know you might be losing track of all the Arpagos related items in this game. I mean, there's the Arpagos Egg, the Arpagos Feather, there's the bread that defeats the Arpagos. Anyway, there's the girl at the very end of the Hanyu Forest who wanted the Arpagos Feather, and since we have the Arpagos Feather, well, let's go and give her the Arpagos Feather. So just make your way through this area just like we did before. Watch out for the green Vire that fly at you, as well as the Darth Vader heads, or bots, whatever you want to call them, and just make your way to the right. I'm back at the second part of the Hanyu Forest once again, and for whatever reason I always like taking the bottom path here. Not exactly sure which one's safer. I think it's just a matter of I'm used to it. I don't know why, but I always come to the bottom. I always find that the Darth Vader heads, or the bots, have bad spawns at the top, and I tend to die rather easily. Although that happens at the bottom too. Anyway, just keep progressing to the right, and then once you reach this gap in the ground, fall down, and then speak to the woman who's just wandering around.
Greetings, Princess Zelda. Do you have any Arpagos feathers? Good. Then let us make a cape from your shroud. Here, I must be off.
Ah, so the shroud isn't just to defeat Gibdo, but rather, when combined with a feather, it makes a magic cape somehow. And this magic cape allows you to jump over large gaps, as I just did there. But it does use rubies, much like almost every item that Zelda gets, so use it sparingly. There are particular uses for it, though. It's not as useless as most of the other items here, and you'll need it in the Shrine of Gamelon to make one jump, and you can use it just to make other jumps easier for you. So hit the Triforce symbol to return to the overworld, and with the Hanyu Forest behind us, let's make our way over to Shutoy Lake. Shutoy Lake is definitely one of the easiest ways to collect a massive amount of rubies in a short period of time. Once you spawn, there are these two Dodongos that will walk directly towards you. In fact, as long as you don't move forward, the Arpagos won't even bother you, and you can just shoot your sword beam and defeat them quite easily. You can collect the two blue rubies they drop, and then leave Shutoy Lake, or even just enter this first hut. And then once you go back outside, the two Dodongos respawn. So that means every single time you enter this screen, you get basically a free 20 rubies. So you can just do this over and over and collect hundreds of rubies in a period of just a few minutes. However, I'm definitely not going to do that in this walkthrough. Instead, let's just progress through the level. There's a second hut here, and it's all broken down, and I had no idea that you can actually enter it, but it turns out you have to enter it because it holds a key that we are going to need at a later part of this level. So climb the ladder, get the key, kill the moblin that just randomly appears, and let's head back outside. There are a bunch of Arpagos that just appear in this area, so I suggest using your flute. You could even use the loaf of bread, but since you can only use it once, there's not really much reason to use it. There's also the Dodongos here, and like I said, you can keep killing them. And I like to use the Power Glove against them too, since it's just one hit to defeat them. So that could be useful. It does take 5 rubies, I believe, to use the Power Glove, though. So if you only use it once to kill a Dodongo, you're using 5 rubies, but you're gaining 10 rubies, so it still is definitely worth it. Anyway, these Arpagos will just keep flocking towards you, and as I said, use the flute. This is probably one of the most useful places where you can actually use the flute, so take advantage of that and use it to your advantage. You also notice that there's different types of Arpagos. There's like the smaller ones and the larger ones. You might have noticed this earlier, but I never actually mentioned it in the commentary. Anywho, kill all the Arpagos, jump over, and then you'll use the key that we got earlier in the level on this locked door. And of course, it's a locked door, yet Impa is inside somehow, so go and talk to her.
Oh dear, Wizrobe has captured Lady Alma.
I'm not afraid of you.
Ha! Then wait here until you are.
Oh, of course, Lady Alma, you know, from all the previous scenes with her. Right? Of course? Nah, she's just another random character who they just tossed in. Oh well. Pull out the flute here, and once you jump on the alligator, a piranha fish will jump out, or a shark. Use the flute so it'll freeze them while they're in the air. Otherwise, they just keep popping up and they'll damage you quite a bit. I pulled out the magic cloak here, and I used it to go invisible for a short period of time, because there is a Zola at the far right over there, and it'll shoot rocks at you, and it's kind of difficult with the jumps you have to make, so that's just an easy way to get through that area. Over here we got falling rocks, and we have to climb upwards. It's kind of a deadly combination since we're jumping right into the rocks that are falling down on us, and there's really not much you can do here. You could take the time to just memorize the pattern of the rocks, but the jumps are so hard that, you know, you're gonna get stuck anyway. So my suggestion is just battle through, quickly run through, and get to the top. Use the rope at the very top here, and then go through the door to enter the tower. It is dark inside, so pull out your magic lantern to light up the room. there is a gap that you have to jump across, and you could actually make this jump without the magic cape, but I'm going to use it anyway just to be safe, as I have fallen and died at that area before. Go through the door, and there are a couple Kargaroks here. There's a door on the left, and it's locked. I wonder where the key can be. Well, it's not here, I guess, so let's go back to the right. And then all of a sudden, a moblin appears right by the door, and of course that moblin has the key. Whatever, get it and go through the door to take on the level boss, Wizrobe. And of course this is going to be an impressive battle. Just stand there, use the reflecting shield without even doing anything, and kill her.
Not the disintegration spell!
The disintegration spell? I thought it was just the reflecting shield. Anyway, after another pathetic boss battle, use the rope to climb up and go through the door here. I find this last room to be kind of funny. If you don't have any bombs, or if you don't have enough rubies to use your power glove, you can't actually even break this boulder here, and you're just stuck and you have to turn around. Anyway, break it and speak to Lady Alma.
Link told me about you.
You know Link?
Sure, he gave me his canteen for a kiss.
You kissed him?
Here, it's empty anyway.
Looks like good old Link is cheating on Zelda. Anyway, just hit the Triforce symbol and I'll see you next video.